People think friendships end with betrayal, or money, or some big dramatic mess. Most of the time, they end over something smaller. A sentence, a laugh, 10 seconds that won't stop echoing for 10 years. I knew a man named Daniel. Been saying knew for a while now, even though he's not dead. That's the strange part about losing a friend in middle age. Nobody sends flowers. Nobody calls the family. The person just goes on living somewhere across town, buying groceries, paying taxes, waiting in school pickup lines. And somehow, that feels worse. Daniel and I met when we were 12, back when summers were longer and knees were always scraped, and every kid on the block had one cassette tape they played until the ribbon sounded tired. He had a little Panasonic tape player with one broken speaker. We used to sit on the curb eating sunflower seeds, listening to Dire Straits and old local radio shows that came in half clear, half static. Some nights his mother would call him in from the balcony. Some nights mine would. That was friendship then. No speeches, no deep talks about loyalty, just knowing which house had colder water in the fridge and whose father would let you stay out 10 minutes later. Life pulled us in different directions after that. College didn't happen for either of us. Work did. Bills did. Marriage. Children. Back pain. Parents getting older and quieter. That kind of life. The kind where you realize one day you've become the adult you used to complain about. Daniel became an electrician. Solid hands. Short temper when he was tired. Soft heart when nobody was looking. I went into office work. Spreadsheets. Meetings. A neck that was always tight. He used to joke that I got paid to stare at boxes on a screen. I used to tell him he got paid to electrocute himself slowly for 30 years. That was our rhythm. Needling each other. Nothing serious, or maybe that's what men our age always say, when something cuts deeper than we want to admit. We stayed close through everything. He came to my wedding in a cheap gray suit with sleeves a little too short. I held his son before he even figured out how to support the baby's neck. When my mother had surgery, he sat with me in the hospital cafeteria at midnight, drinking burnt coffee from a paper cup so thin it nearly folded in my hand. Didn't say much, just sat there. That's how some people love you, by not leaving. Years went by like that, messy, ordinary, fast. Then came his 40th birthday. It was at a small restaurant tucked behind an old gas station. Plastic flowers near the register. 2 ceiling fans making more noise than wind. A karaoke machine in the corner nobody asked for. His wife booked the back room. Nothing fancy. A few friends from work, some cousins, me and my wife. Everybody tired in the way adults are tired now. Not sleepy. Used up. Still, people were trying. Smiling too hard. Pouring beer like it could rinse the week off. Daniel had been under pressure for months. His father was in the early stages of dementia. His daughter needed braces. Work had slowed down. He was taking side jobs on weekends, crawling through attics in August heat, while the rest of us pretended Sunday meant rest. You could see it in his face. That worn look people get when they stop buying things for themselves. When every new pair of shoes belongs to a child. When your own coat still smells faintly of last winter because you never got around to replacing it. He laughed that night, sure, but it was a thinner laugh than I was used to. At some point the cake came out. One of those supermarket cakes with too much icing. Blue frosting roses. His name spelled slightly crooked. People clapped. Somebody started telling old stories. You know how it goes. The old soccer injury. The time he locked himself out in his underwear. The night we got lost driving to the lake because he swore he knew a shortcut and ended up on a dirt road behind a chicken farm. Everybody was taking turns making him the center of the joke. Normal enough. Safe enough. Until it wasn't. I wish I could tell you I was drunk. Would make it simpler. Would give me somewhere to put the blame. Truth is, I wasn't. I'd had 2 beers. I was clear enough to choose my words. That's what makes it uglier. One of his co-workers mentioned how Daniel was always picking up extra shifts. I laughed and said, "Yeah, Danny's been hustling so hard, he looks like one unpaid invoice away from living in his van." There it was, that line, just like that, quick, clean. People laughed. Not huge laughter, just enough. A few sharp bursts around the table. Someone slapped the table. One guy repeated, "living in his van," like it deserved a second round. And Daniel smiled. That was the worst part. He smiled the way people do when they've been hit in a place they can't protect in public. A small smile. Late. His eyes dropped for half a second to the knife beside his plate. Then he looked up and nodded like I'd said something fair. I knew immediately. You know those moments when your body understands before your mind catches up? Like missing a step in the dark. My stomach turned over. I tried to fix it right there, said, "I'm kidding, man, you know that." He waved his hand once, that little gesture men use when they don't want to make a scene. All good, keep moving. Somebody changed the subject. The karaoke machine started up again. A woman in the next room was singing an old Bonnie Tyler song, half a key too low. People went back to eating, and the evening kept pretending it was still normal. On the drive home, my wife stared out the window for a while, streetlights passing over her face. Then she said, "That was mean." Not loud, not theatrical, just tired. The way a person sounds when they don't have energy left to soften the truth. I gripped the steering wheel and said, "Come on, we joke like that all the time." She looked at me. "No," she said, "you joke like that all the time. He usually laughs because he loves you." That sat in the car like a third person. I didn't sleep much that night. Around 2 a.m, I walked into the kitchen and stood there barefoot, eating a cold slice of leftover bread over the sink. The refrigerator hummed. Somewhere outside, a dog barked once and stopped. I kept seeing his face, that half second, the eyes dropping, the smile arriving too late. I texted him the next day. "Hey, sorry if that joke last night came out wrong." No answer. I called that evening, straight to voicemail. I told myself he was busy. He had kids, he had work. He had a father who sometimes forgot what year it was. I told myself not everything was about me. 3 days later, he replied, "You're fine." That should have relieved me. It didn't. Men our age know those words. "You're fine." "No, it's okay. Don't worry about it." Those are cemetery words. They mean something has been buried. After that, things changed in the quiet way things usually do. No argument. No official ending. He stopped calling. I stopped dropping by. When I invited him to a barbecue, he said he had his daughter's recital. When I asked if he wanted to grab coffee, he said work was crazy. All believable. That's the genius of distance at this age. Everyone has enough real responsibilities to hide inside. 6 months passed. Then a year. I saw him once at a pharmacy near my parents' place. He was in line holding adult diapers and cough syrup, probably for his father. He looked older, not dramatically, just pressed down a little, like life had set another box on his shoulders. We nodded at each other, exchanged the kind of careful smile strangers use when they both suspect history is standing right there between the candy rack and the blood pressure machine. I almost said something, almost asked him to step outside, almost said I was sorry, without making it neat or clever. But there were people behind us, a crying toddler near the counter, a woman arguing over coupons. Real life, always arriving at the wrong moment. So I paid for my toothpaste and left, cowardly if I'm honest. A year after that, I heard from a mutual friend that things had gotten rough for him around the time of that birthday. Rougher than I knew. He'd nearly lost the house, was doing side work at night to stay ahead of payments, had parked in his van outside a job site more than once just to sleep 2 hours before another shift. Not homeless, not exactly. Still, close enough that the joke I made wasn't really a joke. It was a spotlight, and I'd pointed it at him in front of people. That's what stayed with me. Not the words themselves, the exposure. How a person can spend months holding their life together with duct tape and pride, and then a friend comes along and makes the invisible thing visible. Not with cruelty, maybe, not even with intention. Still does the damage. I wrote him a letter after that. Yes, a real letter. Maybe that sounds ancient now, but some things deserve paper. I found an old lined pad in the kitchen drawer, the kind that still smelled faintly of dust and ink, and I sat there at the table after everyone was asleep. The dishwasher ticking, my son's backpack slumped by the chair, my mother's medication list folded in my shirt pocket because I'd forgotten to take it out. That kind of life. I wrote that I'd been arrogant, that I'd confused familiarity with permission, that I used his love for me as a cushion for my careless mouth. I didn't ask him to answer, didn't ask him to forgive me. I mailed it anyway. No response. Maybe he read it, maybe he didn't. Maybe his wife found it first and left it on a counter under unopened bills. Maybe it went straight into the trash. That was 3 years ago. I still think of him when I hear old cassettes warbling on internet clips. Still think of summer curbs and sunflower seeds and that broken Panasonic with one dead speaker. Funny, the things that survive. Not the big speeches, not the birthday toasts. A sound, a cheap machine, a boy yelling from the street for his friend to come outside. These days I'm more careful with humor, not because I became wise. Age doesn't do that automatically. Mostly it just makes you tired enough to see the cost of things. A joke can be cheap for the person saying it, expensive for the one carrying it home. Sometimes, late at night, when the house finally goes quiet, I think about how many adult lives are held together by almost nothing. A paycheck arriving on time, a parent having one decent week, a child not needing another appointment, one good friend who knows where to stop. And I think about Daniel smiling at that table while everybody laughed. A room full of people eating cake, blue icing, crooked letters, a ceiling fan rattling overhead, and a friendship ending so softly that, for a moment, nobody heard it happen.